is a very talented actor and comedian you know from shows like The Mindy Project and Happy Endings. He stars in Who Invited Charlie, which is in theaters and on demand February 3rd. Let's take a look.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm making some green smoothies for me and Max. You want one?
Oh, you know what? No, I'd actually rather have a big tall glass of warm piss. I said I'd rather have a tall glass of warm piss. Do you not hear it?
Really?
Just the hair of the dog. You don't have to be so judgy.
Wait, where did you even find the mixer for that?
In your bar.
Oh, dude, that stuff's like 3 summers old.
I guess that's why it's like kind of has a fur.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Adam Bally, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
This is a very wonderful COVID-era film. You were here right before lockdown.
Yes.
And then, how did you manage to avoid COVID? How did you do?
No, I've had all the COVIDs. I got the COVID ones, the COVID twos. Then I waited online all night for the COVID threes.
And you got it.
Snagged them.
Early 3.
Yeah, and then my son gave me the COVID fours just as a gift.
Wow.
And yeah, so
They're gonna like test your blood. You're a special guy.
Sure. Well, I have a little tip. I microdose COVID. A little bit of COVID every morning. Not too much that you feel the effects, but enough to build up an immunity.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it just, if you take too much, you do find yourself at work like I can't breathe or smell, but that's fine, you know, that's part of it.
I've enjoyed talking to you because I'm doing the same. You've got 3 New York City kids.
Yes.
It's been a while since I last checked in. How has raising them in the city gone?
It's good. I mean, like, I enjoy the stigma of New York City kids being that they're a little more mature or they've seen more or gotten to know more. So I enjoy it. It is like sometimes jarring to me as someone who also grew up in New York City. It was a very different New York City, but like my son the other day, they called from school and they were like, Cole has a fever, you got to come pick him up. And I was like, oh my God, ran to school, got him, and he had a fever, and he's like, they're so cuddly when they're sick, and he was like, thanks for picking me up, Dad. And I was like, you never have to worry about that, kiddo. Like, I'm here for you, And he's like, I'm a little hungry, and I was like, I'll get you whatever you want. We'll get whatever you want. He's like, for real, Dad? And I was like, buddy, yes, I'm here for you. And he's like, can we get the baked crab hand roll from Bond Street?
That's not the kind of New York kid you were, huh?
No. First of all, I was like, no. No. It's like $24. I didn't mean anything. I meant I was like, be reasonable.
Also, that's not a food when you're sick. No one's like,
Yeah,
you want
I was
a
like,
crab
are you
roll?
faking? I was like, come on, you want a baked crab? But he did. He ate 2 of them. And and I found myself with like an $80 Postmates order at 2 in the afternoon. You're like, Jesus, like what happened here?
You appreciate this, or I should say I appreciate this. Having 3 kids, it's very hard to keep up with everything. So you do not like when people ask you, what are you watching?
I don't like that question. I find it to be rude. Because, and not just because I have 3 children, and like the truth is, as you know, like you don't get to watch a lot of stuff. Like
yeah.
If I get to watch maybe 1 show, 2 shows a year, like from beginning to end, that's like a lot. So I feel offended. And frankly, maybe it's my age or whatever, but I feel like a lot of the shows my friends tell me they're seeing are made up. It all sounds made up to me.
Okay.
Like every show, and then you ask them who's in it, and it all sounds like it's like made up. It's like someone, they're like, what are you watching? Like, oh, what am I watching? I don't know, Dreamcatcher and the Salmon. You haven't seen that? Stars Chris O'Dowd and Patricia Heaton. It's on Epix. It's kind of a slow burn. You got to stick with it. Like it sounds like it's a show, but it's not a show.
Now, you don't take this the wrong way. You are in a show that seems like one of your made-up shows.
Yeah, I'm in an action show on Netflix with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Now that sounds super made up.
It sounds like I'm lying. Like it sounds like
And
but it's real. That's real.
And how was your time with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's like, I would say, if any, like, he's just a great guy. Like and everybody around him loves him, and he's had the same, like, team forever. And I remember one day I was like, Arnold, like, God, everybody loves you, and they've been with you forever, and it's so. And I kept going. He's like, of course, I am the best. He looked at me like it was like, what are you talking about? You talking about how I could not be the best? Like what? I'm the best. Like I was like, oh, right, you know, and like anything, it'd be like, God, this coffee's so good. He's like, of course it is.
It's an action thing. Did you do action?
Yeah, I did a little action.
Okay.
Like, my first day, I was like a little nervous. We were like strapped together in a tandem parachute. It was nerve-wracking, you know?
Yeah.
And like he smelled it on me like right away, you know? And we're like strapped to him, and he's like, "It's your first time in the parachute." and I was like, yeah. Yeah, Arnold. And then he like turned to his team, and he starts talking in Austrian. And he's like, "Und ich weißen und Deutschen und first time und Deutschen." And I'm like, you know, and like for a Jew, you start hearing Austrian, you're like, you know, so I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like, and they're all laughing, you know, as everyone's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. You know, and I was like, what's going on? Is everything okay? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, what did they say when you said that I was nervous? And he's like, they said you're not gonna like it. Like that's all they said? The conversation went on for an hour. Like, but he's great.
Yeah.
He's great. And I really, like, I would tell everyone, like, if you get the chance to spend some time with him. There is a thing that I would love to ask him, but I never spoke him. After I did it, I changed my ways, you know, like, to be Arnold's voice.
Oh, your way. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, your map, right?
Yeah, because you can do that. You can, like, move. And so after it, I was like, this will be fun to, like, remind me. And so now I have Arnold telling me, like, you know, turn left. I'm not kidding. You know, like, like, truly, like, you put in the destination, and he goes like, I'll be back, but first, we'll get you to the Claridge house. You know, and you're like, all right. But lately, I've noticed that his directions, like, I don't know if he did this on purpose, and if he did, he's a genius. Like, he like kind of laughs in his direction, so you don't know if you should believe him. So he'll be like, turn left. And you'll be like, oh, he'll be like, slow down, speed camera ahead. You're like, is there a speed camera ahead? And like, I feel like he knew that because his voice is so like strong that you're just gonna like believe him.
Yeah.
So I feel like I may be getting pranked, and like I'm driving everywhere, like my both signals are on all the time, and I'm like nervous. And
Well, I want to say something that I mean genuinely. I really hope this show with you and Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't made up. I hope it's a real thing.
I mean, I filmed it, so it could have been a fever dream. I mean, it felt insane. So, but no, I was there.
All right.
I was with him.
Well, I'm happy you were there. I'm happy you were here. It's always so great to see you, Adam.
Thank you very much.
Adam Pally, Who Invited Charlie is in theaters and on demand February 3rd. We'll be right back with more Late Night.